India-Maldives relationship is in a positive trajectory on a firm footing right now. We have seen high-level visits, including by the visit of the Maldives president to India last year 2 times. With me is the Maldives foreign minister who is here in Delhi and held talks with the Indian external affairs minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. So welcome to WION. It's great to have conversation with you. And my first question to you is about the relationship. How do you characterize the relationship? As we saw a blip in the relationship, but because of the quiet diplomacy by the two sides, the relationship now looks like to be in a firm footing. So if you can characterize the relationship for our viewers.
First of all, let me thank you, Leon, for giving me this opportunity. I think this is a very good opportunity that we could, as you have mentioned, to tell the public of both nations about the relationship of both countries. Well, in the recent past, you have seen, as correctly you have mentioned, very high-level visits we have noticed from Maldives to India, and we are expecting high-level visits from India to Maldives as well. Recently, His Excellency Foreign Minister has visited to the Maldives as well. And I have noticed during this visit and previous visit of our president, last visit of our state visit, India is very much committed to bring the relationship to a newer level. And also, with that is being seen by the action of the Indian side as well. It has been shown. The first I would like to bring to your attention as well. During the visit of President Dr. Muizzu, India committed a $400 million US dollar currency swap, and that was arranged immediately right after the visit. And that $400 million has given ease to the financial situation at the moment the Maldives is facing. And also we discussed during during the visit local currency settlement agreement as well. The MOU was signed, and also we are working out to facilitate that as well. Besides that, several other assistances were also provided by India. 100 million rupiah, that is approximately 6 million USD worth of high impact community development programs were granted to the Maldives, and during my trip now we have signed the MOU as well. So under that one, the community development programs will be implemented, and that will be very helpful for the Maldivian nation as well. So with these indications that we are seeing that India is very much committed to have a very close bilateral relationship. I would like to also mention that historically, both these countries, we have been having a very, very close relationship. We have been having the relationship based on our mutual respect, our mutual trust, and also the relationship is based on people to people contact as well. So based on these fundamentals, we are seeing a flourishing relationship between the both countries to a level that is totally new historically.
So this is the second foreign ministerial visit in last 1 year since the Muizzu government took charge in 2023. This is also the first visit of any foreign minister to India. So essentially India first in terms of your policy. But overall speaking about the visit, what is the key focus area? And if you can give an update on the national currency trading as well, because this is something that was mentioned by the external affairs minister as well during his statement.
We are currently working on the currency local currency settlement agreement. We are currently working on both central banks, they are working on to bring uh, the MOU to an actionable status. Soon, I am very confident that it will be in action. With that, Maldives will be having very much ease on foreign currency, depending on, rather than depending on a single currency, we would be having a trade between India and Maldives with the local currency. This will provide cost effectiveness, ease of trading, and as well as making payments with local currencies. So for both countries, that will make things very much easier once this MOU becomes effective.
And also, sir, if you can perhaps give an update on the community projects India is supporting. One of the pact was signed during this visit. So essentially, if a certain update can be given from the Maldivian side?
At the moment, we are working on implementation of some of the administrative buildings in the community island communities. You know, Maldives is composed of a number of islands. That includes 187 islands which are inhabited. So each island has its own administrative offices in each island. So we need to develop those offices as well. So through these high impact community development programs, we are developing those offices, and also some of the community related services as well. That includes parks, areas for communities, health related projects that includes, and also with the new MOU signed, we will be working on upgrading the connectivity between the islands within a single atoll, and also inter-atoll connectivity as well. Again, this will make the mobility of the people in the country much easier, and everyone in the country will be getting this service from this, once it is implemented, this commuting service between both islands, between the islands in fact, and also between the atolls. So that is rather very crucial and important for the Maldives, and this will have a very high impact on the livelihoods of the Maldivian people. So that is the basis at the moment that we are working on, and we really appreciate for this kind gestures that we are receiving from the Indian people, from the Indian government.
Since you mentioned about the various projects, one project is the Greater Malay Connectivity Project. If you can give a status, what's the update like, when it will be officially inaugurated, and also about other key infrastructure projects?
Again, that those projects, it shows the thriving relationship between both countries. As you have rightly mentioned, one of the biggest project currently being undertaken in the Maldives is Greater Malay Connectivity Project, which is worth more than 500 million US dollars. The project is, once this government came, President Muizzu has been constantly in contact with the very senior levels, that includes PM Modi as well, to find out ways to get this project done as early as possible. So we are seeing tremendous changes in the speed of the project at the moment. Right now, it is around 40% of the project is completed, and we are hoping that the first segment, that is between Malé and Willingili, it will be completed within next year, we are expecting. And the whole project we are hoping to complete, to get it completed within the time frame given for the contractor. Of course, there may be, due to weather conditions, you know the vulnerability of the Maldives. So due to the weather conditions, there may be some delays, but the contractor is committed to finish within the time given for the contractor, and that will be beneficial. Besides that, with the assistance from the government of India, that is a buyer's credit facility provided, the government of Maldives is building 4,000 housing units to the Maldivians. So that is also very important for the Maldives, in the Malay region, since it is most of the population, something like more than half of the population or close to half of the population is living in Greater Malay region. Housing is one of the key areas that we are working on, we are focusing on. So that housing need can only be catered by increasing the number of housings available in the region. So with the facilities Indian government has provided, we are working on currently with the 4,000 housing units, and we are hoping that it will be completed soon. Some of the units are already completed, and soon it will be allocated to people and people will start living. Besides that, there are a number of other projects as well, but these are very significant projects. Like we have started Rasmale project, for instance, and one of the Indian company is involved in reclaiming the project. So this shows again the flourishing relationship between both nations, and we invite Indian companies to come and invest in the Maldives in the area of housing, for instance. That is the main focused area for the current government, and that is repeatedly our president has mentioned. Housing is the key priority for his government at the moment.
Do you expect the Indian Prime Minister, to travel to Maldives to inaugurate these projects?
Indeed, I mean, we would love to see Indian Prime Minister to be in the Maldives. In fact, we take India very close to our hearts, and I am sure that we are seeing from the Indian side as well, India is committed to strive, flourish the relationship with the Maldives, with the Maldivian people as well. So on that note, I believe that Maldivians as a whole, Maldives as a whole, will be very, very happy to receive Indian Prime Minister to inaugurate these key projects, which are vital and significant and historic, will be in the relationship of the two countries.
From Indian Prime Minister to Indian tourists as well, because the number of Indian tourists are still not very high, because at one point they were topping the charts, but we know the developments which happened, and since then there has been fall in the Indian tourists. So what do you plan to get back the Indian tourists, because there is a dent in that sector?
Well, fall and rise in tourism, it is a natural phenomenon that we are saying. With the current relationship with both government, both people-to-people contact, what I believe is that rise in tourism is also, it will be a natural phenomenon. Like, as rightly you have mentioned, we have seen in the recent past, India used to be the number one in tourist arrival from India. Although there is a fall, we are seeing a rise from the mid of 2024, and it is rising. We can see it, I mean, from our statistics. What we, specifically among the celebrities, Indian celebrities, Maldives is very famous. And we noticed that there are some major famous celebrities, they repeatedly visit the Maldives, and they enjoy the crystal clear water and very white sandy beaches of the Maldives. We would like to invite every Indian to visit the Maldives and to feel the resilience, silence there in the Maldives, and specifically to get the peace of mind there in the Maldivian waters and the beaches there. For that to happen, one of the key factors that we have noticed is we need to increase the connectivity between both countries. That is one, specifically between the population centers in the in India, major cities, to the Maldives. That includes not specifically to Malay region as alone. We are working on increasing the tourism sector in the north with the assistance of India, that we are uh, upgrading the Hanimadu airport. We are working on upgrading the GAN International Airport at the far north, far south, again under facility provided by India. So those two international airports as well, it is open for connectivity. So once that establishment, that connection can be established, I believe the arrival of Indian tourists will be much larger than at the moment, and we expect in the near future it will be. Also, our tourism minister, he is working on, even before I came, I was in discussion with the tourism minister as well. He is very keen to have road shows and promotional events in India, like any other nations that we are having. And recently, also last year, if I'm not mistaken, our tourism minister, he traveled to Mumbai for such an event, and we noticed as a result of that there is an increased number of interest from the celebrities. So we believe the Indian tourism will be number one in the near future.
In fact, the Maldivian president, when he came, he met the Bollywood stars as well. But moving forward, sir, has the India-Maldives relationship moved well past irritants in the relationship, like the India Out movement, like the comments made by certain ministers who are now suspended? The action was taken by the Maldivian government. Has the relationship moved fast, and do you or the Maldivian government reaffirm the India first policy, something that was a policy? You are the first foreign minister, so there is a kind of signaling. But if you can talk about how do you see in terms of these developments which were irritant in the relationship?
First of all, we have to recognize that, like you have mentioned, I am lucky, I'm fortunate that I am the first official call to His Excellency Dr. Jaishankar as a foreign minister from any country. So that shows the importance that India is giving to the Maldives, and also that shows the close relationship that the both countries are having, and we wanted to nurture in the future as well this relationship, and to move forward based on this relationship. You know, India Out movement, it was headed by our former president, President Yamin. He is totally segregated from us. He is having his own party, and he is still in that one. We have moved away. And categorically, our president has mentioned several times that he is building, he is moving forward with a stronger relationship with India and Indian people. So that is our stand. So our relationship with the former president, it is totally different. He is totally out of and he is working against us at the moment. So with the current strategic relationship between both countries, and historically Maldives and India, we are having economic relationship and security partnerships as well, and that is growing. So that shows the growing stronger relationship between both nations, and the past we consider as past, and we don't have to be on that. We don't have to take that. I mean, with us when we move forward, like I have mentioned, it is already. I mean, the former head of state who was heading the movement, he is totally out of the administration and in the opposition, working against us. So I believe at the moment, since we are having a very close and strong relationship based on this mutual respect and trust and historical evidences, that these kind of there is no space for these kind of disturbances in the relationship. So it will not be there. And we understand that, for instance, some quarters they are working on to have strains in the relationship. Recently, we have seen Washington Post as well, which is totally uh, untrue, based on, I'm not sure from where they have received the evidence, but it's totally untrue. So there may be quotas who will come and have, to work on straining the relationship between both nations. But we understand, the Indian government understands, that we are there to work to have a very strong relationship between both nations, very strong people-to-people contact as well.
Since you've already mentioned about Washington Post, my next question was on Washington Post report. How do you see this report as?
No, that's it's a very short answer for that one. It is totally something that is untrue, unfounded. The allegations they have made on the Washington Post, that is something we believe that is, there is no truth in that one. So it is as simple as that.
Just a clarification on your reply previously. You made remarks on the anti-India movement, saying that it's now done by the former president. So, is it correct to say that the current government completely dissociates itself with such kind of movements against India?
Definitely, definitely. But we need to understand, like in any country, there may be in the government or in the opposition, in the government, I mean, since we are in the government at the moment, some figures who are not in line with the policies of the government. I mean, this is natural. Like in anywhere, you will find some people who comes out of their emotions, those kind of. But those comments or emotions from them, it does not reflect the main cause of the government. We are very straightforward. We are very committed, and when it comes to Indian relationship, we are very honest with India, with the relationship. What we wanted to do, we are very honest. And since we are seeing the same kind of honesty from Indian side as well. So these isolated comments from certain people, I mean, whether they represent to the government or opposition, we dissociate ourselves from that. That is what the president is showing from his commitment. He has dismissed some of the people from the government and also suspended some of them. So these shows the commitment the government, specifically president, is giving to the relationship between both nations.
So now going to another country in Asia, that's China. China is a large country, it's a large economy. It will have its impact globally and in Asia as well. But how does Maldives sees its relationship with China, if you can characterize it? And there has been worries over the Chinese research vessels visiting Maldives. If you can perhaps talk about it, what is your stance? Because there will be anxieties here in New Delhi naturally.
You see, I mean, this is a global world. In a global world that we have friends across the board, and the relationship is totally different between countries to countries. When it comes to India, for instance, we are having a historical, very close relationship between India and the Maldives. Likewise, with other countries, it may not necessarily be China or other countries. We have a relationship on different platforms, different angles. It may be commercial, it may be economic reasons. So, but when it comes to India, we always we consider Indian relationship as first. So we are committed to that one. So our relationship with other countries, it will not compromise our relationship with India, because that is, we consider, since India being the closest neighbor and closest partner, whenever Maldives was in need in the past, India used to be the first responder. So that shows the strength of the relationship between both nations. So that relationship will not be compromised based on our relationship with any other country.
Interesting. In fact, this year marks, in fact, last year marked 20 years of the tsunami, and India under Operation Cactus reached out to Maldives, one of the first countries to reach out. But coming back on the China bit, there were research vessels which visited. So if you can perhaps talk on that, sir.
It's not visiting. It has not visited Maldives. So again, I mean, as I mentioned, our relationship with China or any other country, it will not be, it will not compromise our relationship with India, because we always take India to our hearts.
Now coming to Maldives worldview, starting with the Indian Ocean, you might be geographically small in terms of landmass, but you are a large oceanic country right in the middle of Indian Ocean where world's trade routes pass. So how does Maldives see its position in terms of making sure that there is stability in the Indian Ocean region?
Rightly, you have mentioned, since Maldives is in the middle of Indian Ocean, uh, Indian security, Indian Ocean security, it is utmost important for us, because Maldives is a nation which loves peace and also stability. And that is a key area that we look forward when we move towards development goals. PM Modi, for instance, he has a very high expectations for Indian people. PM Modi has outlined a strategy to bring India as a developed nation by 2047. And our own president, he has outlined a strategy, a vision, which will make Maldives as a developed nation by 2040. These both countries, I believe, the development of India, as India is saying, Indian development, it will be complemented by the development of the nations around its neighborhood. So that shows actually the strength from the Indian side is showing to the neighboring countries, which includes the Maldives as well. So with this kind of relationship, I believe this development of both nations together, it will be with peace, ensuring peace and security for the nation across the Indian Oceans. And for that to happen, we are committed to the stability of the Indian Ocean. Specifically to the security of Indian Ocean will ensure the security for the nations across the Indian Ocean. And as I mentioned, the Indian security we consider as our security as well.
That's a significant statement. Indian security, you consider it as security for yourself. But essentially, how do you plan to work with India? Because there are various formats. There's the Colombo Security Conclave, there's the Indian Ocean Rim Association. So, are you looking at some kind of concrete proposals or working together in terms of these multilateral organizations?
We are having at the moment even that with the uh, Indian different services, security services, we are having collaborations. I mean, so that will go on, and even it will get stronger. Our defense minister, he is visiting very soon to India. So that shows our strength, our commitment to have this security assurance for both nations in this region. So we are committed, and I'm sure that India is committed. That is what we are seeing from Indian side as well. That's the assurance that we are receiving as well. So that security that we will maintain utmost.
So, since you've mentioned the defense minister is coming, maybe if I can ask about how do you see relationship in this specific sector, how both countries are working together in the defense domain?
We are seeing that I'm sure that you understand recently an Indian vessel, it has visited the Maldives, and very significant importance was given by the Maldives to the arrival of the vessel. That is one key area. The other is with the assistance of India, our Coast Guard building is almost completed. There's some minor works to be done before inauguration of the building. So once this is implemented, it will be one of the, it will enhance the security domain of the Maldives as well. So that shows actually the significant improvement in the security side as well. Besides both countries work together in maritime surveillance as well. So, with the visit of our defense minister, I am expecting an enhanced uh, understanding between both nations for the security area as well.
So now on the international diplomacy, what's the vision like for the Maldives government for international diplomacy in terms of engaging with the world as well? I mean, India is a close partner, but engaging with other partners, if you can give your vision so that our viewers also know where does Maldives see its position on the global affairs?
No, well, in the international area, one of the key areas that we focus on is, since Maldives is a very vulnerable country for global warming environment changes, that's one of the key areas that we are working on actually at the global arena. Um, uh, like the agreement that we have reached in that the SIDS in the SIDS conference in Antigua and Barbuda, uh, we have worked on uh, environment related several issues, and as a result of that we were able to secure funding for the environment related issues as well. So this will assist the SIDS, specifically small island developing nations, to enhance the resilience and environment related surveillances and improve the mitigations as well. So this shows actually this is one area. The other area is also Maldives is elected to 2023 to 2025 term for UN Human Rights Commission Council as well. We are working on with several countries to enhance the human rights issues across the globe. So Maldives is at the forefront when it comes to environment, when it comes to human rights issues as well. So those are some of the platforms that we are using. We believe in multilateralism. We believe in through multilateralism we can protect the nations from the environmental hazards. We can protect the nations from other vulnerabilities as well. Also, we are propagating that since Maldives is environmentally very vulnerable nations, we believe the accessibility to environment financing, for instance, it should be easier for such nations. And when financing requirements are there, the vulnerability index of the UN, it must be used in one of the dimensions for funding environment related projects. One of the key areas that we are working on is also green energy, renewable energy as well. When we talk about environmental hazards that the countries are facing, we need to keep in mind that we have to work on, as agreed globally, to limit 1.5 degree rise in temperature. We have to work on that. The ways for that is mitigation, implementation of renewable energy projects across the nations. So we are having a target of reaching 33% of our energy on renewable resources. That includes solar energy or wind or wave energy. Wave is quite new to the Maldives, but the other two, mostly solar, we are working on in a wide aspect. We invite Indian companies as well to invest in the Maldives. We have a very high prospect, and it is one of the areas that the businesses are earning very well. So that's a key area for investment as well in the Maldives. And also we welcome for such investments. We are very much open for such investments. So these are some of the global areas that the Maldives is working on when it comes to global arena.
So my last question is: it's been a pretty long interview, and thanks for the frank conversation. Since you talked about multilateral issues, one of the issues that is very important to India is reform of the United Nations Security Council. What is Maldives' view, and do you support India when it comes to it bidding for being the member of the UNSC, reformed UNSC?
It's a very clear-cut position of the Maldives in relation to your question. Our president in the UN, he has mentioned the UN must be reformed. Because over the last 70 plus years of existence of UN, we believe that there is enough room, evidences that for a full-fledged, effective UN, the UN must be changed for the current world environment. Like rightly you have mentioned, India is a thriving nation economically, the third in economic terms in the globally. So it is very important India to have a stronger, much stronger voice in world platforms. So we are there to support India in every avenue that India is seeking for that one. And when it comes to the UN, the right reforms, I believe, it will assist the world globally as well to have an enhanced peace and security across the global arenas. So this is very, very important. So when India takes such a stride to become a more stronger global voice, we assure that our voice will be with India, and we will work for that. And also, one last thing that I would like to highlight is that since India, as I have mentioned just now, is a emerging global power in terms of economic and many other aspects as well, I believe, as I have mentioned earlier, the development of the region as outlined by the Indian government is only possible with India. India leading the development, and us being the partners to that development. And we are very thankful and we really appreciate that India is assisting the neighbors to rise with the Indian development as well. Digitally, for instance, India is having a remarkable and significant development advanced. So in terms of digital economy, when we wanted to develop, or e-governance, or implementation of IT-related other avenues as well, we believe India will be the first source for us to look into, to expand the digital economic avenues in the Maldives. So these are actually new emerging areas, renewable energy, an emerging area that is in the Maldives and across the world as well. India has a lot of investors. India has the appropriate technology, knowledge for that one. These are the new areas that we could work in the future to have even closer cooperation in in these areas we could.
Well, on that note, thank you so much, sir, for giving us this broad picture about where the India and Maldives relationship stand, and also your vision in terms of the foreign policy of your government as well. And as the Indian External Affairs Minister said, that when it comes to relationship with Maldives, it's a visible expression of India's neighborhood first policy and also part of the Sagar vision. On that note, thank you so much, sir, for speaking to WION.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.